What is up, YouTube? It is me, Nadeem Baig, reporting from Truth Revealed Network, your home of the truth. Now, I just want to go ahead and say thank you to all the supporters and all the people out there that are constant viewers of this show, and along with my other content that I have on my page. So I just want to say thank you all, and if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do that and stay up to date with all the things that we're following and covering here on TRN. So, without further ado, just want to cover this story that has been kind of more so made aware to like the people in the recent public. However, this has been going on for quite some time apparently. But we're going to go over a little bit about the Pegasus Spyware, which in recent weeks the news broke of Israeli-based cyber arms firm going as the NSO Group. And what was revealed was that since 2016, the Pegasus program, which is what it's somewhat labeled as, is capable of reading text messages, tracking calls, collecting passwords, location tracking, and being able to access a target device microphone and camera. This is all while harvesting information through apps. Now, this is quite alarming, I would say, because for a lot of people, from a day-to-day perspective, most of our functions, work, and just daily routines use these apps. And it would be quite alarming to find out that this type of spyware or software, if you want to call it, is readily available to be of use through these apps and programs. Some even without even clicking, apparently. So once this program or spyware known as Pegasus infects a phone, it works as somewhat of like a Trojan horse with its capabilities without the user's knowledge. So it's something that we should all kind of, be a little bit watchful of. Obviously the main goal behind it is for to eliminate crime and combat terror and such, and usually this type of technology is sold off to governments and different groups and organizations that are, leading in the efforts, with technology going against terrorism and crime. So with that, that use and capability is certainly something that I think is a beneficial thing in helping combat those issues that we're dealing with. But when it turns against the people that are perhaps activists or journalists and people that may just be against regimes and such, it does become a little bit more of a sinister use of the program. So, their statement, the NSO Group, says that they pretty much just provide authorities and governments with that technology just to help them combat terror and crime. So, pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. However, it has been noted that it was first discovered back in August 2016 after a failed attempt on an iPhone of a human rights activist, which did lead to an investigation revealing that the details of the spyware's abilities and vulnerabilities were launched and on record with probably the most sophisticated smartphone attack ever. Now, this is something that, a lot of phone companies and the different designers of the devices that we're using would probably be very fearful of, just for the simple fact that we all value our privacy and we all value the things that we the content that we share and such, and we always want to make sure that none of that is going to be compromised against ourselves with the use of just simple day-to-day apps and making phone calls and texting. So, this is something that I think a lot of people do feel like, Big Brother is kind of peeking over the shoulder a little bit more these days, I would say. With all that, we know that there are certain establishments, authorities that can readily use this type of information as a device or method for them to just gain info and pretty much harass and keep you in a place of compromise. So, if it's one of those things that we're all going to be having to deal with in these next, 5, 10, 15 years or so, it's important to kind of keep note of that. Now, on August of 2020, according to an Israeli newspaper, the NSO Group sold Pegasus Spyware software for hundreds of millions of US dollars to the UAE, United Arab Emirates, and other Gulf states for surveillance of anti-regime activists, as it says, journalists, politicians, or political leaders of rival nations, that is, with encouragement and mediation by the Israeli government. Now, we're not pointing fingers at anybody here. It is an Israeli-based firm, and it does state that they're more so just involved with providing authoritative governments, for lack of better words, this type of software. So now later in that year, December 2020, the investigative show on Al Jazeera showed how Pegasus was used against a lot of media activists and a lot of people that were in the places of interest, I would say. Now, in July of this year, 2021, the widespread coverage of this was pretty much given out to the public. And what was revealed was that from the human rights group Amnesty International, they found that the Pegasus was still being widely used to gain access from high-profile targets. It showed that the Pegasus was successful in infecting all modern iOS versions of iPhones, up to the latest iOS version, the 14.6, through a zero-click iMessage exploit. Now, what that means is, say, for instance, you're receiving a message on your phone and you happen to see there's a link. In most cases, if you click the link, you are initializing the spyware software to start its work onto your phone. Now, there are some of these certain, programs that they've done that are zero click, which means if it's practically just sent to your phone, all it has to be is a link. And once it's received through your database on your phone, then it continues to do its work. So, these types of things are something that we should all kind of keep a little bit more aware of. It just seems as though we're being bombarded left and right nowadays with, attacks on our security and privacy. And these are the things that we've always valued, throughout our lives, I would say. So, now we just got to be a little bit more cautious of the things that we leave ourselves vulnerable to. And that's pretty much it, and everybody nowadays has a cell phone or tablet or some type of electronic device. Most people are going to be internet users, and they're going to be finding different means of how to gain access to communicate. So, if this is something that we're going to have to deal with moving forward, I think that there should have some type of sanctions put in place to protect individual rights. And, it's still something that's kind of being talked on the table. And so we got to kind of, keep our eyes open, keep our ears open to these things and make a little bit more progress, in this area. Now, I think that what also is quite interesting of this is that there's so many other countries that are involved in this type of dealing, if you want to say. It's almost as like a the new arms trading race type of deal. And it seems like now information is just harvested and collected from anywhere. And so, this type of software, spyware, whatever you want to call it, is something that we should all kind of, again, be very cautious of. Now, it was linked in the murder and disappearance of Jamal Khashoggi, who was a Saudi activist and also Washington Post journalist, when he went disappearing in Saudi Arabia. Now, the thing about this is, again, when you kind of trace back and dot all the connections and you start seeing what's really going on, and this is something that is not just an overnight process. This is something that's been going on for quite some time, of the surveillance and tracking and such. And I would think that we all should possibly, make this type of deal pretty much something go away. We don't want to have to keep on going about feeling every day our security with our privacy is compromised. So that's kind of where I was going to go with this whole little piece here. I just found it was quite interesting that this program it's been around for quite some time. So it's just now being made aware to a majority of the public because of the recent findings. And it's so much more to be covered about it. But I just want to keep that simple for you guys. I just want to say, if you have any comments, please leave them below. If you like the information that was shared here, go ahead and say something about it. And certainly, this is our second show, so we're just going to keep these things rolling as they go. And I just always want to say thank you for viewing and, always keeping up the good fight for what we're doing here. And it's definitely a good cause. We're all trying to stay strong during these times, no matter what's happening. And so I think the most important thing is to always remember, be true.